Joining me now ahead of APFC 5, Cody the Codebreaker Linne, taking on Dan Moriarty in Milwaukee. How are you feeling about a month out, my man?
Feeling really good. I'm ready to fight. Just gotta get there now. Keep the weight down and stay sharp.
On a nice winning streak, looking in the best form of your career, what are you looking to showcase when the cage doors shut in Milwaukee?
Honestly, I'm looking to showcase all my skills. I feel like my past fights, I haven't really been able to do that. I've gotten so much better, so I just really want to show everybody what I'm about and what I can actually do.
You're a finisher at heart. Do you think the finish may present itself in this fight from what you've seen of your opponent?
I believe so. Obviously, Dan is tough, but I do think second, third round, I can get the finish. Again, he's a tough opponent. I don't think it'll be a fast one, right? Unless there's a big mistake. He's smarter than that. But I do see myself getting the finish.
From what you have seen, what do you think of your opponent, and why do you think that you're the one that's going to walk out on top of this one?
Obviously, right. Overall, he's 9-0. He's really good. He's 9-0 for a reason. Um, he has good wrestling, good grappling. His striking is explosive. I just feel like my striking is sharper and more technical, I'll say. Again, his ground game, he's good, right? So I'm gonna have to get around that. But I just feel like my submissions that I throw from top, bottom, wherever, is gonna, like I said before, it's gonna be a lot for him to handle. And I feel like eventually he's going to catch up. I'm going to catch him with something.
So you fought on the big stage before. This is your APFC debut. How do you feel about debuting for APFC in the Midwest in June?
I'm really excited. This is a really good opportunity. Fight pass, all that. And then as of now, being co-main event, this is a big opportunity. So it's a good chance for me to show everybody what I am, who I am, and what I'm capable of.
What do you think is next for you after this one? Obviously, you're stacking the wins, and if you get onto a four-fight win streak with this caliber of opponent to cap, what would be next for the Codebreaker? You think championship gold's in your future?
Yeah, that's what we were talking. Honestly, if that's something APFC is willing to do and something my coaches agree that is a good step in my career right now, then for sure I see that fight happening. Otherwise, again, if for whatever reason that falls through, I'm just gonna keep racking these wins up, and then hopefully 2024 we're in UFC.
So obviously now we're a little bit down the line in your career. You've been in there, you've done that, but what went into the initial decision to say, "Hey, I'm going to jump in there and throw myself in a cage"?
Um, it's a great question. So when I was younger, right, I was watching on TV UFC, right? Because I was really big into WWE, and then one day my dad was watching it, UFC. He was like, "Come watch this. This is real." I'm like, "There's no way this is real." I can't remember the exact fight. I'm pretty sure it was Joe Lozon fighting. It was one of his bloody fights. Like, there's no way this is real. So that kind of got the idea and me interested in it. And then actually, it was kind of like it was more of a bully situation, I can say. I felt like I was gonna get in a fight in school, right? And I didn't know at all how to defend myself, right? So that was like a situation I didn't like, that feeling of not knowing, the outcome, or not being capable of defending myself. So from there, it was like, okay, I know this UFC stuff. That look cool. That they obviously know what they're doing. It was like, Dad, I think I want to do martial arts. My parents talked about it, and then we went and looked and found Rothwell MMA, which is luckily really close to me, a really good gym. Obviously, Ben Rothwell, the owner. And then from there on, started doing jiu-jitsu, started doing kickboxing, and kind of just from 12 years old to now, kind of fell into it. And like right when I started, I already knew like it's more than just a martial art for me just to defend myself. I want to do more with it. And I compete a lot in grappling from 12 to 18. And then when I turned 18, instead of actually going to my graduation, my graduation day when I was supposed to walk the stage, I had my first fight, because that, to me, in my eyes, that was more important to me to have that fight than anything.
So you found your home at Rothwell MMA. What do you got to say about Ben, the coaches, and the team over there in the gym?
No, they're awesome. Ben's awesome. Again, like I've said, he's pretty much my manager right now, and coach and mentor all in one. Right? He really takes care of me. He makes sure I have everything I need, and he also guides me inside. Inside the cage, what I'm doing with my training, all that, but also outside life. He gives me that guidance too, of what I should be doing, where I should be going. He really helps me all around, and the guys that help me train too, they really, I can tell, are anytime that they're help me, they're there because they want to help me. You know, they really put a lot of their focus on me, which it helps me progress that much faster.
It's got to be fantastic to have career guidance from someone who's fought all the way back to the IFL, the UFC, and every major league in between. What would you say that's helped you with, having someone who's been to the biggest stage guiding you along the way?
Yeah, obviously he has that experience. So he just does his best to use that experience to help guide me and my career in the right direction. Right. He obviously knows the ins and outs of MMA. He knows, what people really are trying to get at when they say this or doing that. So I literally just listen to whatever he tells me because I trust him with everything he's been through, and I know he's there to guide me the right way and help me get to my goals.
How easy is it for you to prepare for fights and to stay in the gym when you know that the support system around you is already set up and you know everything's put in place? A lot of guys have to worry through troublesome camps. It seems like you're not one of them.
Yeah, I always have a handful of guys there help me do as much as I can. Ben, again, he's always there no matter what, right? I know I can rely on him. Um, but yeah, it definitely helps. I'm always in the gym, whether it's getting ready for a fight or not. And there's always those guys ready. I text them, I call them, like, oh, we're doing this time, we're training this. And they don't hesitate to say yes.
That's awesome, man. It's always nice to hear someone who's got the talent around them. Going back into this bout, I wanted to ask, what do you got to say to your opponent ahead of this one? About a month out. Obviously, it's a big hyped fight, going to be in a nice feature spot on the card. What do you got to say to Danny ahead of this one?
I all I gotta say is I hope you're ready. I know I'm ready. There's really just we gotta get to the fight at this point. I've been ready for a while. I just want to get in there and finally fight him. And honestly, I just want to kind of stop talking about it and just get to it.
Any prediction for this one ahead of the fight, or is it just take what you get in the cage there?
Yeah, obviously take what I get, but I do see myself getting a finish. I'm not gonna say much more than that, but again, I'm just gonna take what he gives me, and I do see a finish in there.
June 11th in Milwaukee for APFC 5. Cody, the Codebreaker Linne, makes his APFC debut. You won't want to miss it live on UFC Fight Pass. Cody, thank you so much for joining me here. The first of many chats, I'm sure, and we'll see you in the future.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.